Hi everybody, thanks for taking some time out of your day to watch yet another PL video. When Mr. Dosco and I discussed which topic I would do for this little presentation, we decided on this one because we've just made it through February, notoriously the hardest month of the school year, even without a pandemic. And so we thought this would be a good refresher of the brains that we're dealing with and help us to look at our students with a little bit more grace as we have one more quarter to make it through this school year. Okay, so I want this to be short, informative, and not take up much of your time. So here we go. So the first thing is that we have 4 areas in which reactions to trauma can fall. And so I'm not going to read these to you, but I'm going to zone in on a couple of them here. So you can think about students that maybe you've seen, an increase of certain reactions that you're seeing here. In volleyball, even since just returning from second quarter, we had some conflict in volleyball this year. We had some blaming, and it was a struggle for quite a while there. I noticed in the classroom some difficulty listening. Even straight A students would just give me deer in headlights looks when I'd give them instructions, and I had to kind of backtrack a little bit, post a lot of things, remind a lot, just slow down, because it was just like they weren't hearing. And I also talked about, I know I talked with another teacher about some regressed behaviors. And so just think about some of those things that you've seen in class. I know Nurse Dixie can probably speak to a lot of this going on. Anyone who's eaten lunch with me knows that I have a heightened startle response when the bell rings. And one thing to remember is that trauma, it could be very obvious. For example, in the 8th grade, we had a student recently lose both of his grandmothers, I think within a month. I actually think it was 2 weeks. But that's a very obvious, sad thing that happened to that student, and I think he's still coming out of it. It could also be something more subtle, like suddenly not being able to be with your friends every day. But then that happening we're coming up on a year of the pandemic. So it could be a lot of little things adding up where students are continually let down. But all that negativity long term has a bad effect on the brain. And it may show up with these symptoms. Okay, so take a minute. Actually, the next slide is designed for you to take a minute and look at yourself. Are there any of these that you've noticed either in the past year since COVID started, during second quarter, since second quarter started? Have you noticed an increase in any of these in that time? I'm not going to pause too long because I don't want this video to be too long, but you can pause the video if you need to. So the next topic, I really want to focus on trauma brain versus learning brain. So trauma can actually structurally affect the brain. You can have less brain cells. We can have broken connections between brain cells. I'm sure you've witnessed some less emotional control, trouble concentrating. These are more things we are likely to see in the classroom, obviously. But the great news about this and about learning brain or thinking brain is that you can get from a traumatized brain, which is down here. The thing is, if they're sitting and stewing in their desks, okay, they're having trouble concentrating, they are spinning. They're spinning right in here, okay? And it takes a little bit to get them up to this executive state, this learning state. The best way to do that is to add a little bit of movement to your class, whether it's a short break to play Simon Says, or having them agree or disagree with statements and move to different sides of the room as they do that. A moving brain is a learning brain. And it's a simple change to your lesson that could have a huge impact. And I have a link here with some ideas for movement breaks if you need that. Okay. So next I just have some strategies. We've also talked about with personalized learning how really it's just good teaching. So predictable lessons or routines. It's one less thing that they have to be worried about, so it helps them get up here quicker. Divide bigger projects into smaller chunks, more manageable chunks. This is my 10th year in teaching, and every year anxiety becomes more prevalent. Okay, so I find myself doing this more and more often. Add your physical movement. I've done this in class, and trust me, I can attest to the fact that this helps teachers too. It can bring you back to the moment, which can be a very good thing. Graphic organizers to help visualize information. This also helps with EL learners. Repetition never hurt anyone. And then also standard cues, another opportunity to add some movement. Moving forward. So just one small change could make a huge difference. So that's all I'm asking you to consider. I'm not asking you to overhaul your entire teaching strategy or anything like that. But what is one small way that we could keep the trauma lens kind of on for our students? You could consider using the opening slide with those 4 areas and openly discussing that with students. Might take a carefully facilitated discussion, but I think it could be done. And then back to those 4 areas again. Think about you, yourself, or a specific student. We all have that one kid or group of kids that kind of get under our skin now and then. And as hard as it may be, how could you offer grace to them? Could their reactions, could their behaviors be the result of a rough year? I was talking with Mr. Summer. He had the students do a personal essay, and some of the things they wrote down were pretty sad. They wrote about being told they had to stay in their room because their parents had their own Zoom meetings, so they felt locked in their room for hours on end. And I don't think it's far from the truth. That's a kind of a big thing to recover from. And so with that lens, it kind of makes it more understandable why they might not have the greatest behavior once they came back to school. Okay, I don't want this to be too long. I've said that over and over. So thank you for your time, and thank you for all of your increased effort this year. It's not going unnoticed. We've had a huge job, and we've got one more quarter to make it through, and hopefully next year's a little smoother. So again, thank you.